Hi, welcome to Leaders Want to Know, a leadership development podcast. I'm Monica Moore, educational specialist with leadership development. I'm joined by my colleague.
Hi, I'm Karen Ejim. I'm also an educational specialist in the Office of Leadership Development.
And we are really excited today because we have a special guest with us, Executive Principal, yes, Region 4, Adam Erbrecht is joining us today. So hi, Adam. Can you tell us a little bit about your journey in FCPS?
Thanks so much for having me here today. It's exciting to be here. I am almost 2 months on the job. How about
That's
that?
exciting, 2 months.
I keep showing up every day, so I think I'm doing well at that part at least. I had been a middle school principal for 7+ years at Liberty Middle School in the Centerville Pyramid.
Okay.
Previous to that, I had been principal at Daniels Run Elementary School in the Fairfax Pyramid. And prior to that, I had been an assistant principal for several years and taught 3rd and 5th grade at several Fairfax County Public Schools. Started my career in Atlanta, Georgia at Peachtree Elementary School.
Oh, shout out to Georgia.
At the corner of Peachtree Industrial Boulevard and Peachtree Parkway.
All right.
Go Panthers.
Well, it's not as warm here. Recently,
No.
we just came back from a large snow event, and things probably looked a little different at the executive principal level. So tell us, what's that transition? What does it look like now that you're not managing custodians?
What a wild storm. I think as a building principal, the uncertainty is really hard of when we're going back, knowing the conditions at the building, getting there, worrying about your custodians' safety in the process as they're the first responders when roads still aren't great. In the executive principal role, you're getting reports from all of those principals about here's what's going on at my lot, and the plow just covered our entire sidewalk where walkers are supposed to walk across, and it's a mountain of ice, and helping connect them with who to contact, what the next steps are, what the communication needs to be is a big piece of what's different. And I would just say from the beginning, I have such deep respect for the principalship. After having been a principal for 13 years and sort of the meat grinder that you feel like you're in with competing interests and needs and priorities that come at you from every single direction from below and then from above in the system. And you kind of get crunched in the middle of all of those things. And so anything I can do in my new role to help bring some calm, just be more of a thermostat, set at 72 degrees instead of a thermometer of it's hot, it's cold, it's hot, it's cold. Here's the latest crisis, I think helps them be more responsive and able to lead their community.
Some stability.
I'm sure the administrators absolutely appreciate that. Well, I know you mentioned 13 years you were a principal. Can you share a little bit about what you see as maybe some of the differences when you started as a principal 13 years ago and maybe now, what it's like being a principal now?
I mean, I think the pressure is still the same in many ways. It's just the context in which we operate has greatly changed with the dynamics in the larger community and country. And the razor's edge that we feel like we walk on, and it can create a scenario where you're afraid to mess up. And fear is not a great place from which to lead. So I would say that's one challenge, is continuing to stay focused on the mission is more challenging versus worrying about, well, what are people going to think if I do this versus that, and worrying about what might be said or done along the way. And then the other change that I would see, which I wouldn't say is bad or good, it's just different, is that as a large system, we are working towards being more consistent on many things, which I think has a lot of benefits in the environment in which we're working right now. And the days of being king or queen of your hill and having full autonomy to make decisions, I won't say they're gone, but the items on which that occurs are fewer. And in some ways, there's comfort in that. In other ways, there's frustration in that to try to meet the needs of your specific building. So helping sense make for principals is a big role that I now play as an executive principal, assisting them with the initiatives that we're working on as a division for our strategic plan, which is so critical for our students, so that they can best adapt and lead that in a way that works in their local context.
So if you are someone who, I'm going back to your first comment, if you are someone who does worry, you talked about, leading from a place of fear is not one that's comfortable. Do you have any suggestions for leaders?
Well, maybe this gets more into personal therapy than professional leadership skills, but we all have our own default personality. I tend to be more big picture, go with the flow.
Yeah.
And other people might be more, by the book and need to have clarity
Right.
on things. And so we all got into this business to make a difference, and because we loved school. We were good at school. We knew how to work within that system. And we were good at achieving things. We were good at accomplishing things. And a lot of our value and identity and self-worth came from doing things well. Then there's well-being over here as a human being. Mm-hmm. And your value does not go up or down based on what you do. It's basic human dignity. And I think we have to remember that it's great to be alive today, no matter what complex challenges are coming our way, and that regardless of what decisions we make or don't make or who will be happy with it or not, our well-being comes first. Our value remains unchanged. And so as a leader in a building, I tried to extend that to every staff member, every student, every parent, that their story mattered, that their dignity mattered. Mm-hmm. And now as an executive principal, trying to provide that to principals who are the fear of not doing well or not pleasing someone above or below or to the side, I think provides them with that level of safety that's needed from which to lead.
Mm-hmm. I think even just having the conversation is important.
Mm-hmm.
So listening and really allowing them to lead from the heart, lead who they are as leaders.
Well, there's so many tough decisions to make on a daily basis,
Right.
and I think decision making is something that we sort of just do instinctively, and trying to support their thinking requires making explicit the things that are happening underneath the surface, naming the values that are in tension with one another that they're trying to manage, and choose between how to get a both and rather than an either or out of those competing values, but then really assigning weight to the pros and cons of addressing it this way versus addressing it this way. And I often say if a situation has sort of two paths that you're looking at, often there's 20. But if you're thinking about two, if you just make a pro-con list for each, that's inadequate, because the quantity of pros and cons isn't a great way to make the decision. If I had 100 pennies and I could spend them on each one of those pros and cons in each one of those T-charts, where would I spend my pennies? On this one pro versus these 10 cons? That one pro might get 89 pennies and 1 penny to each of the cons, and it becomes clear. So helping them think about what their options are and work in that area of flexibility of thinking, reclaiming their efficacy, catching narratives that have a can't in them where they feel stuck, often will help people move forward. Mm-hmm. And then you got to fish or cut bait, and there's often no perfect solution.
Right. Well, and there's so many decisions in a day as well, right?
Yeah. So do you find yourself having those conversations with your principals? Are you guiding them through big decisions?
Well, certainly early on here, I'm getting to know. I mean, I'm very fortunate in that I'm now an executive principal within a region that I was a principal.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I am now supervising 15 elementary schools, having come out of a middle school. So I'm reconnecting with my roots as an elementary teacher, understanding the benchmark initiatives that we're doing, the assessments that are being given, and listening, showing up, being present. And then when asked for guidance, I'm offering that, trying to shift perspective, but always coming through that lens of meeting them where they're at and treating them with dignity, curiosity versus being critical.
Absolutely. And a lot, as Monica and I work with new principals too, we always say it's one of the most joyful jobs, but also the most challenging.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, it's so rewarding.
Yeah.
And I do miss my students. I miss my teacher. I miss that sort of that community connection that you have. But I'll say for any aspiring principal supervisors out there, there's something different between being school dad and being school grandfather.
Oh, okay.
So I go to visit this school and help them with the challenges they're dealing
Right.
with their children, and then I
And
go
then
over
you
to
get to
this other
leave.
school
Yes.
and help them support the challenges with their children. But I do miss that direct connection.
Absolutely.
Sure. So you'll have to find ways to build those in.
Yeah.
Well, you're only 2 months in, so I think you've got to give yourself some grace.
right.
You'll find some ways to
That's
build
right.
those connections.
All right. Well, are you ready for the lightning
I'm
round?
ready for the lightning round.
All
Let's
right.
do it.
All right. We're going to ask Adam a series of quick questions, and you don't get much think time.
All right. I'm very
So
competitive.
unlike the
so here we
decision
go.
making
Yeah.
where you are looking at both sides of the
No.
story, there's none of that
This is
here.
fast. No
Nope.
pennies to spend.
All right. All right. Snow day, sleeping in or checking the weather at 4 a.m.?
Sleeping in.
Walkthroughs, fly on the wall or high fives for everyone.
High fives for everyone.
Drive to work, podcast or music?
Music.
Communication, quick hallway chat or detailed bulleted email.
Oh, quick hallway chat.
Spirit week, going all in or fly on the wall?
I'm somewhere in the middle on that one, but I'll go with all in. Depends on what the spirit day is.
All right.
Like crazy hair day, I'm all in.
I feel like I maybe could have answered these for you. I
me
feel
too
good
well.
about those
You know me
answers.
too well.
All right, we're going to wrap up here, but I heard that you're a singer. So, not to put you on the spot, but might you leave us with a few lyrics?
All right.
to
Well, I
close?
just let's see. I just watched the Billy Joel documentaries on
great
HBO
documentary.
Max, and so I was singing along to that. And the subtitle of those is "And So It Goes." So here we go. And so it goes, and so it goes, and you're the only one who knows.
Woo!
Thank you, Adam.
Thanks for being here today.